seems like instead of capitalism, we're getting monopolies, right? Power is concentrating more and more and more, right? They say that you have democracy, they're saying that you have choice, but what I see is it's the worst of worlds, right? It's the both the socialism and the worst of capitalism, right? Because we have schools and roads and firefighters and military, and those things are social, right? It's paid by all of us, the taxpayers, right? But not the rich, because apparently they have different tax codes than we do. They can hire people to do all kinds of shenanigans to move their money to different shell corporations around the world. Just Google something like the Panama Papers and learn about how like some of the people like Elon, right, who owns X, he only pays like 3% in taxes. The rest of us are paying over 20%, or what is it now? I don't know. You get paid, you get taxed, you go to the store, you get taxed again, and then you go to the restaurant, you get taxed, and then you gotta pay for the waitress tip, right? Because who else is gonna pay her? Not the restaurant, so you gotta pay her wage. And the prices of food go up, so you gotta pay for that. And that's what I'm saying. So they privatize all the profits, and they always socialize all the debt. And that's why we find ourselves in this sick society where there's always money for war, right? There's always more money. There's trillions of dollars for war, endless amounts of war. They'll just sign it off. It doesn't matter if it's in the left or the right, Democrat or Republican, right? It always happens because our politicians are completely bought out. And I'm sick of it. I'm sick of the double standards. I'm sick of the broken system. I'm sick of this sick society. We need new ideas. The solutions that we seek are actually outside of the system itself. The system is corrupt from within. We have these political parasites, and it's time for us to remind them who they work for. And if you go back to the beginning of America, don't forget about our founding fathers and the Constitution. This was not what they wanted for us. And even Thomas Jefferson and other founding fathers said that we needed a revolution every couple of years. And I think we're one, okay? We have AI, have robots. We don't know how that's going to affect the economy, but I don't see how we're going to be able to replace the jobs that are about to get wiped out with new jobs. When transportation is something like 30%, think of all the people who make just to survive by delivering Uber Eats and food to you, right? But now in a couple of years from now, I already seen drones dropping off food from the sky. There's self-driving vehicles, self-driving semis. There's going to be self-driving airplanes. Like, there's no more for us, right? And our politicians and the elites simply do not have a plan. And that's why I think it's time for a new idea. And I think that the smartest people are stuck in this socialism versus capitalism without realizing that socialism and capitalism are actually just different rule sets on the same game of money. And the problem is not socialism or capitalism. Like I said, we're getting the worst of both worlds right now. What we actually need to focus on is on the bad money. And what is bad money? Well, simply defined is money that's controlled by a few, more importantly, money that's created from debt. And that's why me and you are all born into debt. My unborn kid is going to be born $114,000 in debt. She owes the debt of dead people to dead people. This is literally how we create money. We're playing Monopoly. It's like they give you this paper money, but on top of that, they put interest so you can never go find it in nature, right? With gold, it's different because there's a limited amount and you can always go back in nature and pay for those interests that you owe, right? So it's a better form of money. Money's in the scale. And right now we're using the worst kind of money. And this is nothing new. What we're seeing in the world is not new. Socialism, capitalism, inflation, deflation, taxation. This has been going on since the beginning of time. Since the beginning of time, we know the usury is inhumane. It's inhuman, right? Creating money from debt is inhuman. And this is literally what our whole world is running from. Every single government is doing the same thing. They're creating money from debt that they pass on to us, the consumers, ever since they figured out with central banking in Britain, right? That's why England was one of the first world powers, because they figured out the banking situation first. They were the ones before that. The king would go into debt, or a couple of elites, and then if the king died, then who would pay back the bankers, right? Or they would kill the bankers sometimes, or arrest them, right? So there was an issue. But once they figured out that, oh, we can just put the debt on the way, there's no That made them feel better, right? Because now they can lend money to you and they know they're going to get paid back. But obviously, you know how these shenanigans go, right? We live in a money theism, and every single human, even if you're good or bad, we start aiming bad things, right? Like even in today's world, look, think about stocks, or I'm a crypto guy. And everyone in crypto is investing into the cryptos that the bad people are investing into the chains, blockchains that want you in. And everyone's gonna is incentivized to invest in the bad with the bad people. Otherwise, you're gonna lose if you the good people who are actually fighting power, who are actually trying to decentralize the world, right? Because you have to realize that no longer can we talk about socialism or capitalism. The future is centralization versus decentralization. And this is a war that we find ourselves, especially us, the younger generations. We were given this broken system. We never question. And the reason no one questions it is because even though you all know that the system is corrupt, even though you all know that the system is broken, you know there's no solution. There's nothing. They tell you that there's nothing that we can do about it. And I'm here to tell you that that is a lie. What we actually need to do, the solution, is to invert how money works. What we need is good money. Money created by all of us, and more importantly, backed by our work, which has never happened before. And what happens when you do that? You get human currency, okay? You get good money. Money that trains you to be good, because in order to make more of this money, you had to do something good for humanity, right? I believe there's hundreds of ways that we could do this. Even back in the day, like if Americans were just went and voted, like, hey, we want better schools, and that's where the money came from. That's where like the government would put a contract, and as the workers go build the school, and the money gets created to go pay the cement people and the lumber people, right? If that's where money came from, that would make sense, because the economy would grow at the pace of society, right? But right now we just create money from debt, and usually is to bail out the banks because they're too big to fail, and the corporations, or we bail out the elites who invested in Argentina more recently, right? And it doesn't matter if it's the left or the right, they all do it, okay? It's this world by a few people, and it doesn't matter if you're atheist or religious, or if you're on the left or the right. Everyone needs to unite now. The old and the young, okay? The males and the females. There's all these movements too, like No Kings more recently, Occupy Wall Street. And it's not just here in the United States, right? There's been protests for countless of years now. And like the Yellow Jackets in France, Peru and Spain and Greece, people have been protesting their governments because all our governments have failed us. Because when you play bad money, that literally puts the citizen in competition with the government and the corporations, and the government and the corporations will always win. We like to think we have a democracy, but no, we're still in some Game of Thrones shit, and nothing's gonna change until we put a stop to it. So the plan is to change first, to understand what we're fighting. And what we're fighting, the demons at the foundation of society, is bad money. Money created from debt. And the solution is the inversion of that. It's good money. Money created by all of us for all of by our work. And this is the only reason I'm here. This is the message that I'm dedicating myself for the rest of my life to push forward in whatever way I can. Yeah, it doesn't matter if I have to love you or hate you or slap you around. A little bit of truth, a little bit of love. Hey, that's what I do. I'm here to unite. And the revolution already started, guys. You can do it by choosing better food, by unsubscribing people that are just trying to divide you, who are just vomiting hate, right? By just learning more about the technology. Like, the revolution's here, guys. We don't have to fight against the system. The system is broken. We can build a system. It's already built. You can have a whole government right here in our pockets. We can have ranked choice voting, mathematically proven to be secure, and all this, right? We can take control of our data so we can fight Amazons, the YouTubes, and these new companies like ChatGPT and Anthropic. These people that are Palantir and X and the social medias, right? And the Facebooks. It's time to take a stand against the monopolies. They promised us capitalism, but instead we got the worst of capitalism, right? Because they say you have capitalism, but they use our money, research, and then when they make money off of the research, invention, or whatever, they profit from that, right? But then when they crash, they put that debt onto us, the citizens. And I don't know about you guys, but I had enough. It's an illusion. It's a game. Me and you are not born into debt. We're not economical slaves. And I've had enough. It's time for grandpa to sit down. You know what? I love you guys, but you guys don't understand technology and how important this is and in what special place we find ourselves in. We find ourselves in the digital crossroads, and we need to begin to have a conversation about how we got here, what the hell's going on, and where we need to go. We need to gather the greatest minds around to come together from economics, from gaming, from blockchain, from AI, from the whole scientific field, the physicists and the chemists and all these people, everyone that wants willing to help to reimagine our world for the new digital revolution. What's going to happen to all these jobs when robots and AI destroy most of them off, right? We need a new form of economics. The system's going to break. We're heading into World War III because some psychopaths have taken control of power like they always do, because this is what bad money does. The psychopaths, those who are willing to break the rules, kill people, steal, cheat, lie, these are the people that always rise to the top. And think about it, it's bad for the economy if we were all healthy. It's bad for the economy if we're all not ignorant, right? It's good for the economy if you're ignorant, divided and fighting in civil war and sick and paying for insurance, hospitals. This is great for the economy, but if you're healthy and aware, awake, that is bad for the system, because you begin to question power and how things work. And the problem till now is that everyone's starting to see now that the system is broken. Everyone's starting to see what the problem is, right? That a few people control our world. Just look into things like the Epstein files. I mean, there's so many things happening every day, every week, that is hard to say it all. But you guys know what I'm talking about. The system is upside down. There's different rules for those who can afford it and for the rest of us. Our justice system is broken. The way we vote is broken. Our educational systems is broken. Our systems of health are broken. It's all broken, guys. And the thing is that there is solutions, and we now have the tools to free ourselves from this economical slavery. We are not slaves. We were born free, and it's time to demand our country back. It's time for an update. It's time for America 2.0. Let's put the Constitution in the blockchain would be what I would like. And we need to begin to create currency from education. Let's start there. There's a million ways to do this, right? But we should start there, because the two biggest problems in the world are ignorance and money, right? Our minds on money. Bad money is training humans to be bad. It's psychologically, scientifically in our brain, right? Like I said, you're incentivized to invest in the things that are bad. There's no way to break out of this cycle. You got to continue to invest into whatever BlackRock and Vanguard and Chase are doing, and the Davos that leads, right? And the Bank of International Settlements. Learn about these things. And anyone that's have ever challenged power, I believe if Jesus came back, that we would crucify him again, okay? It doesn't matter if you voted for Gandhi. He's not going to be able to change the incentives of humans on money, because we live in a money theism, and that is our one true God, it seems like. All we care about is some number in the stock market, but they never tell you about all the waste, all the pollution, all the destruction, the corruption, the injustice of it all. And the media is feeding you bullshit. How do you know? Because they can word things and look at the things they omit, questions they omit to ask, how they never challenge power. If you look at all the channels, it's almost like they have scripts. They all say the same thing, guys. Wake up. Stop being an NCP. Stop being a non-player character. It's time to wake up. And I believe a lot of us are. And it's great, right? Welcome to my world. Me and my friends were talking about conspiracies years ago, but we're just labeled conspiracy theories. Obviously, there's conspiracies that are stupid or don't matter, like Bigfoot and all this. But there was a lot of conspiracies, especially regarding our CIA and our government and the FBI and our politicians. These things have always been going on since the beginning of history, and nothing that's happening is new. And I don't know why grandpas are stop letting them watch Fox News. It's straight up propaganda, guys. And I'm sick of it. The way we beat the demon is the first thing that we got to take control of the narrative. Realize that we do have a solution, okay? And the second thing is this way we need to take control of the narrative. We need to change the story that we're stuck in the system, because that's not true, right? You now have a new idea. My whole goal in life is to introduce this idea of good money. And I'm here to expand on that, right? I want to debate people on it. I'm open-minded. I've been debating against my own idea for years, but it always wins. So if I'm wrong, tell me how I'm wrong. I want to listen to it. I want to debate with the smartest people, right? The socialism versus capitalism. It's just like an emotional conversation, and it's always so stupid and dumb. And I just want to jump in there and destroy them. So come destroy me if I'm wrong. I'll be willing to admit wrong. But if I'm right, then I'm gonna need all of us, all of you, to help me make it right. I'm not here for likes. I'm not here for money. I'm not here to sell you anything. I'm here to introduce a new idea to the world, to expand how you think, not to tell you how to think. Okay? And this is our world. We can do whatever we want. And I think a lot of you have a feeling that we can do this better. Like, if you believe in something like aliens or dumb, but still imagine there was aliens. You guys think they would do money the same way that we do? That they would give all that power to one or two aliens to create money from debt? How is our world in debt? Why do we have to pay the debt of dead people to dead people? And then with rich kids, it's like socialist, they just get everything for free. And we know that money doesn't make you a better person or a worse person. Being poor doesn't make you a better or worse person, right? Humans just want to feel like they have community. Humans just need a little bit of compassion and empathy. Like one intervention in someone's life that's struggling with addiction or whatever, like one intervention could have an immense impact if some humans just showed you some love or some care or some empathy or some compassion. But this is not the world we live in. We live in a sick society where we just genocide people and we sleep in the streets and we continue to let people to get poisoned and kids to get poisoned and babies to get poisoned. This is a sick, inhumane world. You're being fed a constant diet of fear and misinformation, guys. You're being fed a crappy diet that's dropping our IQs, and they're giving you a bunch of propaganda that you gotta be a patriot and this and that. This is just tribalism. This is division. What we need is unity. That's what love really is, unity. And that's what we need now. We need to come together. The ladies, the guys, right? With these toxic relationships, it's because of money, right? Money makes families separate. My parents divorced because of money. It's just, look at dating apps. Want to make money, right? And how does that affect what we see now in the world? Look at all the porn, right? Because why wouldn't you do porn? We get rewarded for showing your ass. You make millions instead of busting your ass for years like my mom did, cleaning hotels and picking up strawberries from the fields when there was no border in San Diego. Like, no, you can just go make a fucking porno and now you're rich, right? Like, think about the incentives of this sick society. Bad money is creating bad humans. And what we need now is good money to create good humans. Human-centered currency. It's currency that we vote in. And I suggest we start with our educational systems. What if your kid and the teacher got rewarded for every time a kid went to the next level? Why not? When you get more Bitcoin from computers, a mathematical problem, or you rather have money created from debt so you can go to war or to bail out another banker, another country. Why not? Rather you're a doctor, create money, save your grandma, from a heart attack. Or when they save my mom if she's dying. I want everything possible to be done to help my mom. And that's probably where the currency should come from. If you just create a currency from healthcare and education, we would radically change our world. And I imagine that you could go back to school if your job got destroyed or wiped out by robots or AI. That's a real solution. And our politicians and the elites, they're not even talking about this. What they're doing is building shelters. Look at Mark Zuckerberg building shelters over there in Hawaii where no one wants them. All right. Look at Trump with his ballroom. What do you guys think that is? A shelter and there's a data center. And look at data centers now. Look what they're doing to our world. Look how much water is being wasted. Look how much electricity is being wasted. And guess what? They're going to put that onto us, the consumers. It's already happening. These companies get to pay cents on the dollar for their electricity and their power, and they're gonna put that on you and me and our kids. They're stealing from us. Every time they create more money, they're stealing from you because you're trading your lives for these worthless pieces of paper that they can just print more out of. That means you gotta work harder and harder all the time. And that's why it was easier for our grandparents. Sit the hell down. You guys could have bought a house with any cheap job. Your grandpa could have like 2 wives with 2 houses with 2 dogs and 2 cars and could have afforded it back in the day with a regular job. Right? But now you need your wife and both your wives and all your kids and dogs working so you can afford 1 house. This is crazy, guys. You need to focus on the money. This is bad money. You guys know I love y'all, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.